Colleagues, guests and sponsors, I'd like to welcome you to today's event. Today we're in Bridgwater at a conference centre called The Exchange. We have our first regional employer conference today. It's very much an employer event. We wanted to put on something that would be of interest to employers. There's input from a variety of speakers who will be giving them relevant information about the sector both now and in the future. But not only have we invited employers to be here today, we've also invited some of the other key partners that we work with to make it a much more rounded event. We feel it's important to act as that central catalyst that brings together the various elements of the sector so that employers can see what's on offer from the provision side, and that the provision side can see what employers actually want. The NSA is an employer-led initiative. It's employer-led in a very tangible way through our Regional Employer Board, which is a group of 12 or so employers in financial services from across the region who come together regularly and effectively operate as a steering group for our activities here, help set our priorities, help identify what the real training needs for the sector are, and look to guide the training providers that we work with to deliver to those needs.
Gone are the days when you could sit an exam and then carry on through the whole of your career. There's constant learning requirements. The rules and regulations are constantly changing, the market is changing. So I think we're going forward, we'll continue to have a close relationship with the National Skills Academy and local providers to make sure we've got the right people in the right place at the right time.
I think it's really important that we're A, preparing young people for the needs of the sector, and B, supporting the sector in the kinds of training that they're then unable to source elsewhere or that might be appropriate for us to deliver.
You can have all kind of skills and qualifications on paper, but I don't think it means much without experience. So what they're actually doing is providing us with events like these and opportunities. For example, I've been to the Big Conversation, we've done a 6-week internship in Lloyds TSB, etc., etc. And it's kind of given us practical experience, which I think the workforce needs more than just the classroom learning, but we do get that as well.
I mean, we have our own preferred suppliers lists on a range of training, but what we've done with the National Skills Academy is we found them very helpful to access government funding and to make sure that any providers of training are up to the benchmark.
Today will be a useful networking event. We've deliberately built a networking opportunity into the agenda, and we've got employers coming from across the region, and all of our partners have come from across the region, so it is truly a regional event, and it is a good opportunity for people who wouldn't normally have the opportunity to meet and talk and share ideas to do that today.
I've met a lot of people who may have exchanged emails with. It's always good to meet, shake their hands and talk to them directly. I've learnt a lot from the speakers that have been present. The fact it's been free has been fantastic, because I would have paid good money to attend similar conferences. Indeed, some conferences I have paid money for, I haven't got as much out of.
I've actually enjoyed it as a delegate as well, because we looked at a whole range of issues, from looking at the political landscape, but also the economic reality as well that we're facing, because that we can't argue with that, and whichever political colour you are, there are issues that we need to deal with.
It's good to see the attendance, that's been great. It's been lovely to have the invitation for our students to join us, because I think they've really valued that, and I think they've risen to the occasion, so I'm very proud of them. And I think it's good to hear a range of speakers and hear from all sides, you know, what might happen in the industry in the future, because that's what we're all worried about, I think, is what happens next. How do we prepare people appropriately? How do we support the sector?
And I think that the more that financial services businesses can get together and can understand the agenda, we can actually start to get things that we need in our businesses. The
financial services sector is, I feel, a significant contributor to the regional GDP, often one that's overlooked, to be perfectly frank. It's not the most apparent sector, but nevertheless it does contribute quite significantly and employs many tens of thousands of people across the region, so it's something that we feel needs to be given a great deal of attention and taken very seriously.